talk to Bill O'Reilly, man. Bill O'Reilly, host of No Spin News on BillO'Reilly.com. Bill, this is like huge, isn't it?
Yeah, very big for the United States. Anthony Kennedy was a very rational and honest voice on the court. Many times sided with the Republican agenda, but not in an ideological way. Now, it was rumored that Kennedy would hang it up after this session, which ends this week for the Supreme Court. But now President Trump has another shot at appointing a justice. Now, you saw this week that Gorsuch, the justice that Mr. Trump appointed last year, voted in favor of allowing the president to have the power to say to certain countries, you can't send people here, and voted in favor of the unions not being able to force their members to donate money to causes they didn't believe in. So now we're going to have a brawl, I mean a bloody brawl in the United States over the next Supreme Court justice. No matter who Donald Trump nominates, the Democrats will oppose. So that's going to be some fight coming up.
Well, and you're right, Bill. And as you say, Gorsuch replacing Scalia, that was a wash. That was a conservative for a conservative. Bill O'Reilly, you're talking about Anthony Kennedy, man. He's been the swing vote for like the last 10 years on the court.
And Americans should understand that in the future, it's not so much Congress and the president that's going to have the power. It's going to be the justices, the 9 justices on the Supreme Court, because almost everything in this polarized age we live in, Joe, is going to be challenged in the courts. Everything. Yeah. Every single thing that either a Republican or Democrat president does going to be challenged in the courts.
Now, you nailed it, Bill. You said a moment ago it's going to be a brawl. I mean, an unbelievable brawl. Who, because I'm focused on these midterms, energy and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a brawl over a Supreme Court justice pick, who does that advantage?
Well, you know, President Trump and the Republican Party are going to campaign on the economy and North Korea and the victories that they've been able to achieve. Now, the message should be on both sides, hey, if you elect my party, then we'll put in judges that do what we want. Because if the Democrats get control, particularly in the Senate, you're going to have liberal judges. You're going to have Sonia Sotomayor, who basically put it in writing, Joe. You saw it. Put it in writing. Hey, I don't really care what the law said. I think Trump doesn't like Muslims. So I'm going to vote against giving him the power because I don't like his political view, not on what the law says. She put that in writing. And so what are you going to have, a politicized Supreme Court? So it really becomes now, the midterms become much more important than they were yesterday.
So does it, Bill, does it fire up both bases? I mean, is it a wash?
I don't know if it's a wash in the sense that I think the intrusion of high tech has diminished Americans' capacity or willingness to follow the news. You know, we hear all about this cable stuff, and you and I, this is our business, and we pay attention to public policy. Most Americans, you go outside and you go, who's Anthony Kennedy? No clue.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
They don't understand what the Supreme Court is. They don't know what the ruling was on the travel ban. Just walk out the door, take 10 people and ask them, and I'll submit to you 7 out of the 10 will have no blanket clue about any of this. So when you say, is it going to fire up the base? It'll fire up the people who pay attention. But the masses of other voters who really don't, who vote because their dad tells them to, or their wife tells them to, or their friend, they're probably not going to pay more attention than they are now, which is not much.
Well, you're right, Bill. You're talking about a country with a people, most of whom don't even know who Thomas Jefferson was. Hey, I want to get your take, man, on these rulings this week. You mentioned the travel ban, a number of free speech rulings. What's your take on how the Supreme Court did?
Well, as we said a year and a half ago, the law is the law. It's pretty clear that the president has the power to stop immigration from a country if he so chooses. That's why this is so bizarre, because it says it. I read it to the audience on BillO'Reilly.com yesterday. I just read the statute. There's no interpretation, with all due respect to Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Justice Sotomayor. So, it's not. It says it. But it was a 5-4 ruling. So the people on the court who say, it's our job to obey the law that was written. That's our job. They all voted for it. And the people on the court, the justices who say, no, it's evolving the Constitution and the laws, whatever really we want it to be, they voted against it. So, for the rule of law, it was a good vote. For the ideologues, it was not such a good vote.
Yeah. Hey, Bill O'Reilly, everybody. Check him out, the host of No Spin News on BillO'Reilly.com. My friend, I always enjoy it. Thanks, Bill.
Always a pleasure.